Hey guys, welcome back to the Top 10 Weakest series. Well, you guys definitely had an agenda here, and it was to put out every single starter Pokemon typing as the first 4 entries of the series. I say 4 because, as we all know, we've used Pikachu before as a starter in a few games, and thus the electric typing is right there with the grass, fire, and water. Now, the electric type is the smallest we've tackled thus far, but even then, there are a lot of electric types that are really not good. Actually, that top 10 I did way back when was definitely the best of the best for the typing, without much of a doubt. This list was arguably harder to make, as there are some real stinkers with this typing. I worked hard on this list, so I'm hoping you guys are into it. Right now, I want you to let me know what typing you want to see covered next. And yeah, I might have a bit of an idea of what you're thinking. Let's not speculate though, and get right into things. I never would have guessed in starting off this list that we'd be facing down the slowest Pokemon we're probably ever going to talk about on these lists. I mean, it's electric types. They're never really slow. However, here we are talking about Galar's Pincurchin. Guys, it has an absolutely horrible 15 base speed. Like, I almost had to take a double take looking at the electric types when I came across his speed. Now, alright, when we did the grass list, I did a lot of crap talking when it came to slow Pokemon not being good, and Trick Room not helping every slow Pokemon become good. That being said, now, Trick Room actually does do a lot for Pincurchin, making it somewhat viable. It has a decent 95 base defense and 101 base attack. So like, you know, if you've got a lot of investment in defense, maybe you'll be taking Earthquake successfully. For abilities, there are 2 good ones here on Pincurchin, being Lightning Rod and Electric Surge. You gotta love how Lightning Rod renders electric moves useless and can raise your special attack by a stage, which could be useful on this slow thing. As for Electric Surge, that works in tandem with Rising Voltage to cause major damage out in battle. If you run that with Scald and Recover, Pincurchin isn't all that bad on Trick Room teams. So why is it here? Well, it's here because it relies on Trick Room. I can admit when certain circumstances make a Pokemon even better, though this is a circumstance where Trick Room isn't making a Pokemon better, it's making it good to begin with. Maybe one day, Pincurchin won't be in this top 10, but for now, it was just pushed down into it. Well, this didn't take long, but we've got to get into some of the many Pikachu clones with this list. Raichu might be a good Pokemon, but those that were inspired by its line rarely are. The first we'll be talking about today is Emolga, which, thanks to its typing, is mostly spared from being as awful to use as many of the Pokemon that come after it. However, its stat line shows a ton of mediocre stats led by a great 103 speed. Now, don't get me wrong, being fast is awesome, and after talking about Pincurchin's speed, it's a nice refresher. However, for Emolga, its speed is a complete facade, as it has 0 bulk and horrible base 75 attacks. I mean, honestly, the only thing Emolga can do consistently well is attempt to use Air Slash to try and flinch an opponent. Maybe Paralysis too, if it can go for a Paraflinch. Maybe Paralysis too, and go for a possible Paraflinch. Now, that can be very annoying, I agree, but is that really enough to make Emolga good? I don't really think so. Motor Drive as its hidden ability isn't really helpful since it's already fast. And you know, hey, Static is kinda cool. Maybe when a Pokemon is making physical contact with Emolga, knocking it out with one hit, Static can activate and paralyze something. I'll say this, at least Emolga has something clear-cut that it can do, and can probably succeed under the right circumstances. That's more than I can do for most Pokemon here. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll get...
Silence, Mystic. I do not wish to be Boltund anymore. I just want to be Mudsdale.
Well, I'm sorry, Boltund. That's just not going to be possible. You truly have only yourself to blame for being here. And I guess Game Freak. You've got such a forgettable design, which is unfortunate since Yamper is a cute looking pup. Well, if nothing else, Boltund is incredibly speedy. Pincurchin was sort of the outlier when it came to speed, but as you'll come to see, most of this list is going to include speedy Pokemon. Really, if nothing else, this list is proof I don't immediately see a fast Pokemon as being good. I can easily bury them for being bad, just like slow Pokemon. As you can see here, Boltund has base 121 speed, which is fairly nice to have, but its attack stats are just base 90. Well, honestly, it doesn't look too bad, but we can't ignore the defenses. Like, this is really bad. Base 60 in both, and 69 HP? It's effectively impossible for Boltund to take a hit. Though, does it have to with such speed? Let's take a look at the abilities. Being competitive in Strong Jaw. The former is a bit situational and definitely the worst of the two. It only activates when one of Boltund's stats is lowered. And sure, it'll provide a 1-stage boost to the special attack, but I wouldn't bother with this since I don't want to rely on stat drops to help me out. As for Strong Jaw, that looks great on paper, but Boltund only has 4 moves that will be boosted by it, and none of them are Ice Fang, which would have been great for the ground types. It's pretty clear that Boltund could have had the strength to take something out, and definitely the speed for it, but any good trainer will have something that easily takes an electric hit from Boltund and then punishes it majorly. It's a shame that Boltund just isn't anything that special. Alright, look. Before we start off here talking about Pachirisu, I want to make one thing incredibly clear. I know full well that back in 2014, Pachirisu won Worlds for Sage Park. It was an impressive feat and very cool to look back on. However, just because that little thing happened once 7 years ago, doesn't automatically absolve Pachirisu from being thrown on the list, because boy does it suck. Now hey, it can take a special attack pretty decently with base 90 special defense, and 95 speed means it can probably match the speed of certain Pokemon, but it is not guaranteed to outspeed anyone. If it does though, oh boy, watch out, because it's gonna hit hard with 45 base attack and special attack? Really? This squirrel is that weak? This thing is awful. Runaway and Pickup are useless in competitive battles, leaving Volt Absorb, which would be great if it maxed out Pachirisu's special attack or something, which it most certainly does not. Its move pool has options like Nuzzle, and U-Turn? I guess Seed Bomb too? Man, this thing is totally lacking in having any sort of coverage. I can't believe this thing managed to clinch a win in the biggest Pokemon tournament. But anyway, whatever though. Look, Pachirisu is garbage, if not with a little bit of an edge over other Pokemon since it has history. I want to move on though. These Pikachu clones are driving me nuts. Oh yeah. Clearly this list needs more Pikachu clones. So let's go with Dedenne. That is right, Dedenne is the start of Pokemon being really bad on this list. I would say it started with Pachirisu, but some fans would probably hate me. Let's take a fine look at these stats, where we see 101 base speed and 85 base special attack. Wow, super, it's great, except it's totally not. Look at the defenses, the HP, and the attack stat. I mean, this thing has got a cavalcade of nice physical moves it can't do anything with. I'm talking U-Turn, Play Rough, and Wild Charge among others, all of them being wasted by base 58 attack. God, it has pluses and ability too, which is so useless. Pickup and Cheek Pouch are both not great either, Pickup being entirely useless. At the very least, there are only 2 weaknesses that Dedenne needs to deal with. And being a fairy type leaves it with access to Dazzling Gleam, so it can hit some Pokemon for nice damage. I've gotta say, there isn't a whole lot more for me to say about this, as it's clear cut, kinda not good. But at the very least, Dedenne avoided going top 5. Lucky for it. So, did you guys know that Manectric is bad? I mean, look at the stats. It's a little hard to believe when there's 105 base special attack and speed. Those are truly great. Its move pool contains Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Volt Switch. So, what is it doing here in the top 5? Well, the short answer is its lack of bulk. Manectric may be speedy, but one hit from a strong Pokemon, and it's knocked out cold. Static and Lightning Rod are very good abilities, but Minus being its hidden ability? That's just downright gross. That ability, along with Plus, is so garbage. I hate that Pokemon outside of this Pikachu clones are forced to have them. Now, here's the real meat of the issue with Manectric. It doesn't have a move pool that really supports its great special attack. I listed off a few really good moves earlier, but that's honestly all it has. its move pool has mostly physical attacks that really offer coverage, like the Elemental Fangs, Psychic Fangs, and honestly, Curse. Manectric can't take any hits, and the best way to use it doesn't really help you at all against ground types. It's a bit sad that something I was able to talk mostly positive about is actually one of the worst of its typing. I hope that sometime down the line, Manectric will actually get blessed with a decent move pool. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but we actually haven't had a truly dedicated physical attacker appear on this list. I'm gonna change that by adding Zebstrika into the fold here at number 4. It has base 100 attack and 116 speed, making it yet another speedy strong attacker that can bring the pain. Similarly to Manectric though, it has horrible defenses that prevent it from being able to take a hit. As a matter of fact, Zebstrika is in many ways a parallel to Manectric, being worse somehow. Its move pool has but one electric type move that hits physically, being Wild Charge, and that causes recoil damage. Could you imagine the only stab move that plays into your wheelhouse is a move that also hurts you? Now, to be fair, Spark is also physical, but it doesn't hit as hard as Wild Charge, so it's hard to think you'd ever use it on a Zebstrika. Its only coverage move is Flame Charge, which isn't all that great either. So don't expect any chances to take out ground types unless you're very lucky with a crit Flame Charge. Lightning Rod and Motor Drive aren't helpful abilities, and Sap Sipper is so situational that it is hard to even consider running on a set. I will say one thing before wrapping this up though. The fact that Zebstrika is the only true physical attacker on this list proves what few physical attackers there are in the electric typing, most of them actually being pretty good. Alright, let's keep making things worse. And it is in fact a bit of a cop-out, just like it was last time. Okay, I don't really think it is, but I know that might be what crosses your mind when I let you know that it is Oricorio using the Pom-Pom style. The fact is this, Oricorio needs to be ranked here because this electric form is just as awful as any normal electric type, no doubt. It isn't like it's some special form that Oricorio transforms into during battle. It's something that is entering and exiting one. I will say, this is probably the second best of the forms, though it's still pretty damn bad. It's awful defensively, just like most of the other forms, and it can barely do anything offensively with just one electric type move, Revelation Dance. It's the signature move on Oricorio, and it matches the typing that it is, but boy, is it just unable to do anything. Hurricane is a great move, and Revelation Dance at least is base 90 power, so it gets stab boosted to 135, making it somewhat strong. All of that just doesn't matter though, as beyond the base 98 special attack and 93 speed, Oricorio has garbage bulk, and it'll get pretty hurt when switching in on Stealth Rocks. I don't have anything else to say other than its ability sucks, its good stats are useless, its move pool is garbage, and it is definitely one of the worst electric types. Oh man, you guys are going to be really excited for this. All you people in the comment section, you've definitely been waiting for this one. I'm finally going to talk about Electrode and how good it is. Well, as you can see, it's not very good as we're at the penultimate spot. Electrode is ridiculously fast, so much that so few Pokemon are actually faster. So like, that must mean it's great by my standards. Okay, well then, case closed, on to the next Pokemon. Oh, wait, was that not good enough? You guys want me to talk in depth about Electrode? Talk about how it is in-game instead of competitively, the way these lists are normally done? Well, no dice. I'll keep going, but totally from a competitive standpoint. Electrode's special attack is a pedestrian base 80, as well as its special defenses, and all of its other stats are garbage. Its only usage is for using Electro Ball. And aside from that, there is zero options for any ground types, outside of exploding, since its attack stat is awful. I will never talk about Electrode again. Ever. It's awful. And you guys will never know how good it is in game. Well, here we are, at the worst Pokemon of the electric typing. It never gets any easier to traverse the worst, and this might be the most complicated one yet. Mostly because it's 2 Pokemon instead of just 1. I know, how can we handle so much toxic garbage at once? Well, considering the fact that Plusle and Minun might as well just be 1 Pokemon, it shouldn't be too hard. Look, I get it, I'm not stupid. Plusle and Minun's gimmick means there should be 2 of them. However, what's the point of creating the worst Pokemon of a typing, and then thinking, hey, let's rip it in half so it takes up 2 slots in the Pokedex? I just don't understand, but whatever. Rather than try to comprehend Game Freak's choices here, let's look at the stats. Plusle and Minun have nearly identical stat layouts, except they swap their special stats. That leaves 95 base speed for both, with awful physical stats in HP, and then either 85 or 75 in the special stats. Despite the speed being good, and I guess borderline okay special stats, neither of these Pokemon even begins to carve out a role as a good electric type on any team. Like, just look at the move pools. They both are very similar ones with very few changes, and neither are all that great. Who cares if they get Thunderbolt, Discharge, or Volt Switch? They can hit quickly, but doesn't even matter when the defenses and HP are so bad? There are still plenty of Pokemon that can outspeed Plusle and Minun, and the complete lack of bulk means they're going to make little to no impact. Now, here's the thing folks, you might think Plusle and Minun perhaps aren't as bad as I'm making them out to be. If you look just at the stats, I could see you possibly thinking that. But now, I want to direct you to the abilities. Plus and minus, 2 of the most useless abilities ever thought up by Game Freak. They only work with Plusle and Minun out in a double battle. And who in God's name would ever have both of these Pokemon together on a team for a doubles match? That's right, nobody. Alright, there are other Pokemon with plus and minus, but really my point still stands. These 2 are awful. There's 0 potential. And while you could make one work to a very small degree, it doesn't matter. I would prefer to have either of these over Luvdisc, Magcargo, or Sunflora, but still, they're such bad options. Okay, so that'll do it for this one. Another weakest top 10. The electric typing definitely didn't shock me with this one, as it was pretty obvious from the get-go that it would be pretty easy to pick out the worst of the worst. The electric typing is very fast, as we learned from this video, but also super frail. Pincurchin is a special breed of electric type, and I definitely appreciate it giving some variety at the 10 spot, but everything else was the usual you'd expect from electric types. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you haven't already, let me know what typing you'd like to see next. That'll do it for this one though. Remember to leave a like, and forget about Electrode. It sucks. I'll never talk about it again. I'm being super serious. Not fooling. So with that said, thank you to everyone for watching the video. Huge thanks to my phenomenal team and the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If you all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too, as it really helps us out. I also do other content on my Twitch, where I stream Genshin Impact, Mystic Zora, where I do Pokemon Let's Plays and other gaming content, and of course MysticSage, where I do all anime content. Right now, I'm focusing on Inuyasha and Yashahime, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. If you'd like to support me even further than that, check out my Patreon. Whether it's a $1 tip to get early thumbnail access, or the $10 tier to get cool perler bead charms and a shout out. There's tons of reasons to join today. These lovely people did, and I thank them all so much for their support. It really means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Umbreon, and I will see you all next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.